Shalom, shalom, shalom to all, and what is chus to be able to talk about Parshas Emor with you today, the Parsha which speaks about Sfiras HaOmer, which always falls out during Sfiras HaOmer, so kind of the double and continuous connection that we have throughout the year with our Parsha. And we know a lot about Sfiras HaOmer, we speak about it a lot, well, because we have 49 days to do so between Pesach and Atzeres and Shavuos. But there's a strange medrash which says on our parsha, in the medrash in Parshas Emor, which says a maimer of Rav Yochanan. And Rav Yochanan says, Rav Yochanan Amar leolam ali tihi mitzvah sa'omer kala be'einecha shal yedei mitzvah sa'omer zacha Avram Avinu liyaresh eretz Canaan. Rav Yochanan says, do not make light, do not make small of the mitzvah of Sfiras HaOmer. Do not make it small in your eyes. Why? Because from the mitzvah of Sfiras HaOmer, Avram Avinu was able to inherit Eretz Canaan, Eretz Yisrael. What a strange medrash. What does one have to do with the other, number one? What does inheriting the land of Eretz Yisrael by Avram Avinu have to do with the mitzvah of Sfiras HaOmer? And another question that can be asked on top of that, well, Avram Avinu has nothing to do necessarily with the mitzvah of Sfiras HaOmer, which was only commanded to us after Yetzias Mitzrayim. So Avram Avinu didn't even keep this mitzvah. Now, we know that Avram Avinu, it says in the Gemara in Yoma, was able to be Mekayim Kol Torah Kula, that he was able to keep all of the mitzvos, even though they hadn't been given to him yet, because of his understanding, because of his connection of that he had with this world and understanding Kadosh Baruch Hu and how this world works. Rabbi Yisrael of Husyadin says that this time of Sfiras HaOmer specifically is a time in which is Hizdachachus Amidos, is the lashon he uses, a time in which we are meant to purify ourselves and purify our midos, so that way when we get to day 50 and we are pure and ready to be Mekabel the Torah in its greatest and truest form. And so he says this is the reason why Avram Avinu was able to be Yoresh Eretz Yisrael. Not because he understood necessarily, specifically, all the mitzvos and what they were. Yes, that of course. But what made him understand? What made him connect? That's because he was able to be mizdakech his midos. He was able to have a cheshbon nefesh, to think about what they are, not just to do them, but to feel them, and to work on himself throughout and throughout. And because of that, he was Yoresh Eretz Yisrael. He was able not just to live in Eretz Yisrael, to be Yoresh it, to inherit it, to make it his and eventually ours right now. Now, this is specifically an exciting time because it's also the weekend of Yom HaAtzmaut, and this year specifically falls out the exact day and time and parsha in which it fell out in 1948, Tavshin Chet. And that was Parshas Emor on a Friday afternoon, in which it was Machriz, in which the Medina was announced, in one of the greatest miracles that ever took place for the Jewish people. And it's specifically during this time of Sfira, and specifically this Yerusha, which Avram Avinu gives to us, we have to understand and remember why and how Avram Avinu got this Yerusha. He inherited it because he was Mizdach the Midos, because he knew what the Tanaim were, living here and being Mekayim the mitzvos in its purest form, in its truest form, being Mekayim the word of Hashem in his house, in his place, in the center of the world. And so, with this, we should be able to take this message to our NCS wires, not just to do. We can be excited about mitzvahs very often and be excited about things, but to make things real, to work on them, to purify ourselves through them, to be able to get to that level. And Emir Hashem, on this Yom HaAtzmaut, this Parshas Emor, we should be able to live in a Geula Shlema, in a complete redemption, have the final redemption with us with the building of the Beis HaMikdash and Mashiach Tzidkenu on his way. Shabbat Shalom.